just reloaded it. Just.
Whoa. Whoa.
But if you once you get into YouTube, if you go into Video Manager, let's see, it'll give me all the ones that I've only created 3 in my life. There's 2 for the church.
Brian, quick question.
Yes.
In my messaging, when I get a photo,
Okay.
if I hit copy, it goes to my photo album. Is that correct?
No, not copy. Copy just copies it, just like on a computer, and then you can paste it later somewhere else. You're talking about your phone?
Right.
With a phone, you would hold down, and then there's copy or save. Save would save it to your photo.
Save. Okay.
To your camera roll. Yep. No problem. All right. Any other questions?
I had a question about the.
Yeah, you had a YouTube question.
Okay, and I just reloaded it, and I sent the code to Mark.
Yes.
And he opened it, and it's got
the video to Mark.
Smile.
There we go. The
This goes. I have a streamer type thing I wear.
the fuse popped,
Oh, really?
and it's plugged into the one right over the sink, so it's just got that little reset button right there. The GFCI or whatever.
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, I just got here.
So, all right. All right. Creator Studio. Let's see here.
Upgraded, well, I'm guessing.
It's $500
Video Manager. All right. So
for this stuff.
here we go, Bill. We'll pull up
Video
a
Manager.
For the box.
yeah,
The streamer.
and then I pulled up a video.
Telephone.
Okay, I got 6 videos. Okay.
Your cell phone.
Wow.
And edit.
Well, I'm checking. Like I said.
Oh,
Audio and screen.
Well, if
Settings.
I don't have it, I might as well not watch TV.
Yeah, here we go. So
If
do you
I
have this
don't
screen
have
up
it,
yet, Bob?
cell phone,
Or Bill?
Yeah.
Maybe
This one.
50% of the
Yeah.
Okay. So right here, it says public for me. Yep, so it's still the same way. Public, unlisted, or private. So unlisted, again, public obviously is for anyone to consume. They can search for it on the little search thing on YouTube. Anyone can find it. Unlisted means that people can't search for it, but if you provide the link and email it to people, they'll be able to watch it. Private means only you can consume that material.
I went to my list, and I clicked the most recent rendition.
Mm-hmm.
But how do I open it? Actions.
Are you under Video Manager
Under
videos?
Video Manager, yeah. And I got a video I checked. I think I checked a video. I checked one of the boxes. Okay.
Well, don't check a box. Just click on the title.
Okay.
And then pause the show because you don't really want to watch it.
Okay.
And then the very first one looks like a pencil, says info and settings. Right underneath the video where you paused it, there's a pencil.
Oh, okay.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
It says info and settings.
Okay.
Click on that, and then it'll bring you back to this page. And then, again, under right here, mine says
Oh, okay.
public.
Private. Okay, I'm in private.
Yeah, so if you click to unlisted,
Okay.
again, if people have the link, they can watch it.
Yeah, okay.
But it's not going to be available for
So
anyone to
save
just
changes.
search for it.
I'll send it to you.
Well,
and
let's
see
see
if it works.
Well, no, it's the same link.
Yeah.
So it should just
be
be.
the same code. I'll
Yeah.
just resend it to him.
Well,
Maybe
I-
He can just reload the web page, and it should pop it up as public.
There it is. Good.
There you go. No problem. Yeah, so YouTube, you can make videos public, and part of the reason for making them private is if you're working on them,
Okay. You
you don't want anyone to see it until it's finished, or if they're, I don't know, if you just want to use it as basically a backup of your videos, even though it's not very good quality compared to
When I was
the original.
downloading, there were a couple of issues because it would, as the rendition or the end result
Mm-hmm.
was, it would, as it went from one slide to another, it would go back and grab one and pull
Yeah.
forward. But I'm not gonna.
Ken.
And
Okay.
two questions.
Yep.
I got two new computers, this one here and my desktop.
Yep.
And once you plug them in, you run for a little bit, then you start coming up saying things like, well, this one here has it right now. You have updates. One of them updates your BIOS, one updates drivers for different things.
Right.
If everything's working fine, do you really need to upgrade them? What happens too, because I did it on 3 of the lesser ones in here.
Mhm.
One's a video driver, a sound driver, something else. And everything seemed to work okay. And then I went in to play solitaire, and when I win a game, instead of being able to hit it and play another game, it makes a funny noise, it chew, and it's out of it.
Crashes.
Back down, I can open it back up and play another game, it kicks me out.
Crashes.
Okay, so that's the problem with that. So do I really need to update these drivers and things like that if it's working fine?
It's already working fine. Probably not necessarily. Updating the BIOS is a good idea. So that's kind of again, if it's working fine, I guess you could say no. But if it stops working, then definitely update it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you're not noticing any major issues, then yeah.
And the other question I got, your mouse works good. I guess yours works good.
Yeah.
My mouse at home, if I have it on sitting on my chair and I got a blanket over the edge of it,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a certain color and stuff, it'll work okay. But if it's multicolors, it won't. If I set it on a book, sometimes if it's a solid color, it'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Here, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it this, or is it?
It's a combination. It depends on the quality of the laser, because that's what they're doing, is they're shooting a laser down and detecting a surface here. But at home, whatever wood or fake wood our desk is made out of at home, of course it's a different mouse, but the mouse, still good quality mouse, does not register very well. And so I have to do the same thing, whereas I have to push twice as hard or twice as much to get it to go as far as it should.
These do they go bad or go old?
They could. I mean, the laser could be not as bright. You could try changing the batteries.
I've done that. It did.
And then I would just invest in I mean, they're not expensive.
No, they are.
Just get get a mouse pad.
Okay.
They're really inexpensive. You can get it on Amazon for a couple bucks, and they're made so that the lasers read into them, and you may notice quite a quality.
Okay.
Probably even go up to Goodwill and they probably have it.
Yeah,
They have them
$10,000.
all over. They're everywhere.
yeah,
Buy it for 5 cents.
yeah. But they, I mean,
Because
And
this
that's what
used to work there on that same armchair with my other computer, and it worked perfect. And it worked not as good, and then less. And
Yeah.
now I use this all the time. When I get it where I want it, then I click this.
yeah. It could be also that if you've been using it on uneven surfaces, that those surfaces could be scratching the lens of the mouse.
Is that an old mouse with a new computer?
This is
Maybe
fairly
just
old.
reinstall your drivers for your
Well, it saw it and installed it right off as soon as I plugged in
mouse. Okay, should.
it's
Should be automatic.
just.
Yeah, it could just be a matter of
I'll try
mean,
it on a
yeah.
mouse, a real mouse pad, and if that doesn't work, I'll just go down and buy a new one.
yeah, yeah.
These are cheap too.
Those are cheap,
too.
$2.
Yep.
Goodwill when you're getting your mouse pad.
Well,
For 50
Yep.
cents.
Yeah, and this one, they're all, you can buy however nice or fancy or simple you want. This one I can actually unplug the cord and it becomes wireless. And I do that when I'm like at Urocco and I'm working on my sermon or something. I just unplug it so that there's less wires sitting on a small space. So yeah, there's lots of options out there. And wired typically, if you want a response, wired have a faster response because there's no signal other than what's already being sent through the
and I
wire.
found everything on computers that, yeah, it might be faster, but my eyes can't see the speed.
No. Well, no, yeah. For people who are doing things that were like game at this end of wireless, but they're actually everything, both keyboard and mouse are wired
Yeah,
because
well,
it's
always faster
faster.
that way.
Yep, it's always faster. Same thing with your home internet. If you have the capability of plugging your device directly into your router, that's always going to be faster than wireless.
So an Ethernet connection.
Ethernet's always going to be faster, yeah. So when you see companies boasting of, we do 50 megabits or 150 megabits per second, that's always the hardline concept, not the wireless.
Part of your answer, Bob, about wireless speakers.
Well, but the difference in speed is probably measured in milliseconds.
Well, yeah, and I mean the biggest difference you'll notice. I mean, think about maybe you've experienced, maybe you haven't, but at our house, we've got surround, and it's wired, but we've got surround sound in our living room. It was built with the house, and then in our bedroom, we've just got the speakers coming out of the TV, and on occasion we have transitioned Aubrey from the living room to the bedroom. Like we did that when we were decorating for Christmas. And so we had them both on at the same time. And there's about a 2-second delay between I forget which way it is, but one way or the other, there's actually a 2-second delay in the audio and the video. And I don't know if that's because of the speakers that are surround or if it's or what it is, but there's a delay between the two systems.
Same channel on TV.
Same channel, yep. Both live, so it's not like we've gone backwards in time and watched pre-recorded stuff.
Wired.
Yep.
I could see milliseconds in difference, but I could never see a whole second or more.
Yeah, I mean, like you can hear them starting to say a phrase, and then it's kind of like when you're singing in a round. It's kind of like that.
Echo type.
Yeah, yeah. So I think there may be any time you lengthen the distance between something, that distance will take time for you to.
Yeah, but
to
at the
receive
speed
it.
of light, it's moving right along.
Yeah.
Usually you can't tell the difference.
So I don't, and maybe it's not speaker related. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But there's always a gap or a delay between the two. Any other questions?
Bob had a question about sound,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to add wireless speakers to it. What's it going to take? What kind of a connection?
I don't know. I've never done wireless
Okay.
speakers.
It must
be
be
honest.
some way you could use a USB cord plugged into a little generator.
Well, and there may be. How do the wireless speakers are they designed to just talk directly to the TV, or is there some kind
I
of
don't know, like with my system, the sound comes through a separate amplifier.
right?
Separate
Yeah, we've got the big box.
Yeah.
Ours is an Onkyo or however.
The sound is going from the TV into that device.
Correct.
And then it's coming out of that device, and on the back, there's a whole series of
Mhm.
like
All different kinds, and it's
Mhm.
the same as my hearing aids ones, where you can come out of your amp, you can come out of your TV, it can come out of your DVD player, and it goes into a little box that converts to a signal that sends it all over the place. And you even have some that have your speakers wired in, but you'll have your bass that's not wired in. And
so a combination of
yeah, and
some
they make them
wireless,
that way.
some wired.
Yeah.
Crafting
So-
the old system getting
Well, no, there may be a little dongle that you. A dongle is it's basically a tiny little. I mean,
Decoding
Oh, it's
device.
a little.
yeah. I mean, if you buy, so say, like, I only have 2 USB plugs on my MacBook, right? Maybe 3. No, 2. 2. So I only have 2. Let's say, however, I need 4. I would plug in a little it would be a dongle, a little USB dongle that would then go to a USB hub, which would then have 4 or 6 or 8 USB ports. Those little adapters that are short little wires, short little cords, are called dongles. So
Google, and there it is.
yes, Google it. Yeah, that. So that you can plug both the power and say a USB drive in, or your power cord and a mouse in. Well, you'd probably use a Bluetooth mouse, so there is no cord. But so that dongle provides your ability to plug in multiple devices or multiple things at once.
I have a computer program
Well, that's
software itself. You can install it on as many computers as you want, but it'll only work on the one that has the dongle.
Right.
And that's a decoding device
Yep.
for that only. You
Yep.
lose it, the $2,000 program is worthless.
Yep.
They will not give you a new one.
Yeah.
What is that?
So that's what we call
Example of a dongle.
decoding device.
Okay. Well, and it does essentially the same thing because it's sending the signal so that it knows what this is. Another example of a dongle would be the old, not Bluetooth, but the old wireless mice. And you used to have that little plug that would plug into your computer. And sometimes they were...
Well, no,
Yeah.
this one is for my cordless keyboard.
There you go.
So
Yep.
that's the same thing.
Yeah, and we have a wireless keyboard and mouse that both plug into the same one. But yeah, so those are all, I mean, I would define all, I don't know if they are strictly, but I would define all of those as dongles. But definitely, you know, if you're plugging one thing in that has a short little cord that provides you with extra options for your tech gadgets, those are dongles.
I want a dongle for Christmas.
So there may be, you know, for the wireless speaker, it may come with a dongle that you plug into the back, a device that you plug into the back of your receiver, and then that will talk to, and you would plug it into the appropriate, you know, whether it's your left speaker or your bass or whatever it is, and then it would talk wirelessly, Bluetoothlessly to your speaker. And then it would be wireless, but it would be compatible with your wired system.
You just type in dongle and it tells you, that shows one and tells you exactly what they are.
There you go.
And that's what it is, a small piece of hardware that connects to another device to provide it with additional functionality. And relation to computing, the term is primarily associated with hardware providing a copy protection mechanism for commercial software, which is what I have, in which the dongle must be attached to the system that the software is being installed on in order for it to work.
Yep. Yeah. Another example is speakers, you know, so you could buzz in. And you had to plug in what looked like a USB drive into the PlayStation so that they could then talk to, so that the 4 receivers, controllers, buzzers could talk to the PlayStation, and that would be called a dongle.
There's a dongle for everything. There's a Bluetooth,
Yeah, that's right.
a Wi-Fi, a TV, an internet.
Word.
Word for the day is
Who says you can't
That's
teach old people new tricks?
Now we're going to all be talking about dongles.
That's right.
dongle.
Yeah. You had a question about, or you were mentioning your Fitbit. Did you have questions
Well,
about
what are you
it?
wearing on your wrist?
I broke down. This is an Apple Watch.
Well, this
Is a blaze.
is
Yeah, the
also
Fitbit Blaze.
and it told me how many hours I slept last night.
Correct.
I rode my bicycle stationary this morning. Told
Mm-hmm.
me how many calories I burned.
Correct.
So
Does it measure your heart rate?
it shows me my
Yep.
heart rate.
Yep.
What else can it do? That I wanted to do.
That you want to know.
What you want it to do? Do you have the app on your phone?
I do.
I believe I used to have the Jawbone, but I believe you can enter
But you used to have the what?
the Jawbone up.
In other words,
It's a
What's
com-
the jawbone?
the Jawbone up is a competitor to the Fitbit.
Different brand.
So Jawbone is the company, and they make Bluetooth speakers. You know, like portable speakers you can take with you.
Used to be
Similar
kind
to-
of
it's
ear
a
speaker.
different-
That's
Yeah,
where it came
and
from.
they used to do. Well, they originated, I believe, as the in-ear.
So this
Bluetooth.
is jaw,
That's
like
where
Yeah.
the jawbone came
Yeah.
from.
your jaw,
Yeah.
jawbone?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because it was picking up vibes out of your jawbone.
got it.
And then the model was called the up. So the
Thank
jawbone up. So I had one of those, and it was a disaster because it kept breaking. Kept breaking under warranty, and then finally one time, and they would replace it under warranty, but then finally, like, it went to 35 days instead of 30 days, and it broke, and so it was out of warranty. So I
Well,
couldn't get it
Carolyn, my
replaced.
daughter gave this to me for my birthday and
Yep.
Christmas. And she downloaded the app and it's on my phone. So I've been looking around, but conceptually, this measures my heartbeat and it measures the arm movement. Is that
Yep.
how
Yeah, it essentially measures when you're walking and you swing your arm. That is the pedometer portion of it.
and then
So it
how-
measures your steps,
And
essentially.
how does it know when I'm sleeping, when it's not moving?
Yeah. Does it do it automatically?
This one does it automatically?
Yeah, some of them you actually have to put it, like mine, when I had it, I had to put it into sleep
Yeah,
mode. So when I laid down for knowing that I'd sleep mode for an extended period of time.
And your heart rate
Yeah.
goes down too. They probably sense
Yep.
that.
So then if your heart rate stops, does it just go stop too?
We want to find that one out.
It should it should call 911 is what it should do.
Yeah, they did do that for
Does
you.
it call 911?
If my heart stops, is there any way I could send an email?
I don't believe so. You
Maybe we could hook it up to, well,
I don't know, so anyways,
give it
it measures heartbeat, it
shot.
measures wrist
Yeah, there you
movement,
Yeah. Exercise.
exercise, what else does it do?
I believe in the app. I don't know for the Fitbit specifically, but I know from having the Jawbone Up, the Up app would let you log meals and water.
Yeah, Tiz will do that.
And so then you
So-
can check your, not only calories burned, but calories consumed.
So when you log it in, do you say, I just had 4 ounces of yogurt or something?
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah, and they're tied into all kinds of databases. So you could even say I had a McDonald's, a Big
with
Mac,
fries and
yeah,
chocolate shake.
and it'll pull it up, and you select the right one, and it'll pull up the calories and nutrition values of the entire meal, and
So
grade
now
you on it.
you know, for a while.
Yep.
And then I come back within range. Does it then communicate?
It just automatically starts
Says these are the
uploading.
things that happen.
Yep.
in the absence.
It'll talk to your phone. Your phone will say the last data we received was at 11:38 p.m. or a.m. on Monday the 5th, and now today's Thursday the 9th. Did I do the math right?
The only thing
Anyway.
I wish it would do is let you know when you haven't got your hearing aids in.
Yeah,
See what you don't have in now.
You have a better pair than I do. I've bought the shoes
Those look like Oticon.
but they are, but they're different model.
There's quite a few models.
Yeah, this was the $3,500, the $5,000
You said yours
one.
would tell you if you've
These
been
were
sitting
that
too
much
long, you
each.
need to stand up and move. Or
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
turned that part off. on
mine. Yeah, if it has sense that I haven't stood up in an hour, on that hour from when it last detected me standing, it will buzz my wrist and say, "Time to stand." And then you get up and you go walk for a minute, and then you've achieved your standing goal for the hour.
But you could turn that part off.
Yes, you can.
Brian, what's the risk when I go into a area with a public Wi-Fi? Let's say I go to McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I want to check my bank balance.
Yes. Don't do
So
it.
I go to our community credit union, I put in my number and up comes my bank balance, and it gives me the ability to transfer funds and do all
Mhm.
those things. And I'm sitting at McDonald's or I'm sitting at some public,
Right.
what kind of risk factor?
It's pretty high. I mean,
Somebody sitting outside could be just.
or someone sitting inside that looks like they're having a meal and also just sitting on their computer. It's
How can they do that?
because it's an unsecured internet connection. Like here, where we are right now, you had to type in a password. So
Right.
theoretically, obviously, hackers can hack into this network as well. But this network in general is protected by that passcode. And so only people, in theory, with the passcode should be on this network and within range of its signal. But sitting at McDonald's, all you have to do is click OK on the little terms of service and then ignore it and do whatever you want.
Let's carry it a little further. I'm at a hotel and they give me a unique code which would probably be tied into my room.
Right.
And it's only good for a certain time parameter.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a public system. So we got some nerd sitting down in the basement.
Yeah, I mean, or even another guest. I mean, if, say, they know there's a convention in town, and then they book a room also, your code is not unique to your room. It's just unique to the building. And so
some are
someone...
unique to the room.
Okay.
Some to a floor.
Yeah. But if it's not, if it's just to the building, then it's kind of like an open.
Yep, it is protected, but at the same time, it's open to the number of people in that hotel at that time. Yeah.
Question.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just going back. So, something simple. Okay, if he's at McDonald's,
Yep.
is that if he signs into their
To
Wi-Fi?
McDonald's free public Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Free.
yeah, but if he didn't do that.
No, if he's on his cellular data is actually always the safest way to go if you're in a public
Yeah.
place.
That begs the next question.
Yeah.
I have the option of signing up to McDonald's,
Mm-hmm.
or I can stay with cellular data.
Correct.
Yeah,
What's the advantage to?
Cellular data is way more secure.
yeah.
Am I paying extra for that then?
You're paying
Depending
as
on
much
the
as
program.
your monthly data
You're
allows.
using part of your data.
Yeah.
But my phone bill is to the penny the same every month.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, so you
Yeah,
pay
right,
for a
right.
certain allotment. So you're on the 2 gig plan or the 4
So
gig
I'm
plan.
not-
So as long as you're within those 2 or 4, 8 or 10 or 20 gigs a month, they're not going to charge you more unless you go over. So no, and you can actually set up your phone as a hotspot. So say you're at McDonald's and you're not concerned about going over in data, you can set your phone up as a hotspot and then connect your laptop to it if you want to be on the laptop instead of a phone or a tablet. And then you can use your cellular data to get Wi-Fi in your laptop. And
So-
then you are protecting yourself.
So there's no difference then by using it as a hotspot or using it directly.
No,
It's just then I have the capability of pulling it up here
correct.
because, and I've done that. Down in Mexico, I did that.
Right.
Now, is there any danger, is there a time period as you're setting up the hotspot? Is there an open period until he connects his phone to it?
His
Nice.
Mac wouldn't
I
be
mean,
connected in.
between the Mac and, okay, it's
The
closed.
Mac's offline until it connects to the hotspot.
And there's no.
And as
no
long as you've
open
got a
period.
password on your hotspot, which is part of the security settings to setting up the hotspot,
Yeah, because the Bluetooth will then search for all sources and it'll pick up your hotspot.
and it'll whatever
You
you've
click on
named your iPhone will be the name of the hotspot. So Bob's iPhone, or
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
But in order for you to log into that hotspot, you're going to, on your computer, it's going to ask you the password. And
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
where it stops you because you have to know the password.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's how it becomes
That's probably
even more secure.
Yeah, they're saying
So it's not-
airports and every other place.
Yeah.
Use their.
So if you're at an airport, someone could see that you are broadcasting from your phone, but they would still need that password that you've created for yourself.
So if you have, and I don't do any of that, but if you did have a limited number of minutes or whatever
Data,
then if you're at McDonald's and you want to see what the news is and you want to see what the road conditions are, it's like that don't matter. Just use McDonald's. But if you
Yeah.
want to transfer money or buy something from Amazon or write an email and send it,
Mm-hmm.
then at that time you want to switch on your own.
Yeah.
What question I had then, and I don't care. I just was wondering how this works, and maybe you don't know because this is kind of an illegal thing or whatever. How do they do that? Do they go onto their computer and if they got some program to type in, look for people who are out there on banking or something like that. I mean, how do they know? Because somebody could be watching a movie and, well, that's not going to do any good, or somebody could be just looking at the weather. Do they see exactly what you see on your phone or your?
No, they probably see I don't know for sure, but my guess would be they see IP addresses. So
But that's
you know,
that's just that many numbers that mean nothing.
but they may recognize, oh, that's Netflix. You know, oh, that's I don't know, Google's homepage or something, or maybe it says Google.com. Maybe it translates for them right away that this is, you know, this is the IP address, and then in parentheses or in quotes, Netflix. I don't know for sure, but that would be my guess. And so they skim for, oh, this person is on Bank of America. Let's
so
focus in on this.
They can
IP
click on
address.
it, and then they'll be watching the exact same thing that person's watching.
Not really watching what they're doing. That would require being able to remotely log into their computer. But because you're on the same web, you're on the same network, they can see where each person on that same network is going and what they're doing. So sending an email, they could see that they were sending an email and potentially
And then they must have some way
grab
to be able
it.
to capture that so that they could.
Yeah, and I don't know
How they do
any of the details of how to do that. Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that do. I mean, the
Yep.
hackers are
Yep.
prolific.
Yep.
I subscribe to Direct TV.
Yes.
Can I watch Direct TV movies on my Netflix?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think now-
I can watch I've got Xfinity Comcast, and I'm able to watch it my phone, my laptop, my tablet. Well, used to watch it on my tablet.
They just raised the rates, but other
but
than that,
no,
they're going to raise the rates $4 or something for devices. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, right now it's no extra cost, at least on Comcast.
Well, at least I got a notice of something.
But yeah, you should be able to. If you have an online account with them, you know, a username and password or an email address and password that's associated with your DirecTV, then you should be able to. And I'm pretty sure, I am almost positive DirecTV has a mobile, if not a web option for you.
Well, this is just general for all their January 22nd. They sent out. It's going to go up $2, $3, $4 a month depending on what package you have. For DirecTV.
Oh, okay.
It's not specific to devices.
Oh, just a general increase in rates.
Although I got an email sometime back from DirecTV saying, you know, being we gave everybody, existing customers, access to devices, that was going to change. I don't remember that one.
Yep. Speaking of illegal activities, Becca and I watch a number of TV shows, and one of the ones that we've been watching is which one is it? It is Blind Spot, and they've got a woman on there who's very techie. She's their, I don't know what you would call it anyway. She's in charge of all the technology and
You used to call them
satellites and
geeks, but
yeah.
that's not the term.
And so she constantly is referring to the dark web, you know, for all the illegal activities. So Becca asked me about that, and I said, I honestly actually don't know what the dark web is. And so, and I just happened to be on Kim Commando's website, which I know Bill likes perusing, and she actually has an article on what is the dark web. And so it's an interesting read. She said there's a lot of myths, which was actually really helpful for me because, you know, you hear the term dark web and you immediately think this is probably something really bad to be a part of. But essentially the dark web, so you've got this, what they call the surface web, which is your Amazon, your Netflix, your Google, your Yahoo, all of that stuff. Everything that if you want to find it, you type in the search engine and you can find it. The dark web and the deep web are basically things that you can't search for. You have to know exactly how to reach them, and you actually have to have a special program installed on your computer to be able to access them. And so, and this may not be accurate, and it probably isn't, but for example, when you go to the church's website, you can see what we tell you can see. But then there's a whole host of other things that Pastor Steve and I can do on that website that you never see. Maybe that's the dark web / deep web, because you guys can't actually see any of that. And there's stuff, so there's all kinds of stuff on there that you can't access without permission. And that's probably a little different, but I think that's the best analogy I can come up with. But because of that anonymity and the ability to hide it, that the dark web, deep web, is actually where a lot of stuff, illegal stuff, does happen. So, for example, you would go to the dark web for if you needed to illegally buy an organ, or for buying drugs or trafficking of any kind, whether it's sex trafficking or drug trafficking, or dark web is where you would go to find child pornography. I mean, all of this stuff is where you would find, because obviously they don't want it to just be out in the public because it's extremely illegal. And I was actually listening to a podcast this last week, and they were saying that the FBI actually owns and runs half of all child pornography websites on the dark web in an effort to be able to arrest these people for posting and for doing all of that stuff, which is kind of an incredible number for them to be owning and operating to be able to do that. But there's all kinds of other stuff that people do on the dark web, and so it's, I don't know. One of the other things is that the dark web probably consists of 70 to 30,000 websites, which sounds like a lot, but when you think of all the websites that we potentially know of and can go to, it's actually a very small portion. So it's not this huge, gigantic thing that. She was also saying, when Facebook is with any website, but let's say Facebook is testing new features or new ways to present material, but they don't want the public to see it, that would be on the dark web, because they would grant specific people specific permission, obviously internally, to test all of that.
Beta?
Yeah, basically a beta.
Test.
They say corporations do this so that the outside world can't have access to all of their, so they and such, and so that's all dark web. So if you've heard the term dark web, and we're curious about it, it's not as ominous as it sounds. So everything on the dark web is illegal. We just talked about that. More massive, so we talked about that. It's only between 7 and 30,000 websites compared to the billions. I think she said billions. Yeah, billions available on the surface. It's difficult to access the dark web itself. You can actually download this Tor project from their website for free. Is the software that you can use to access it. I don't know anything else beyond that. Is not policed and impenetrable. I told you about the FBI. She cited two where Germany and the US actually use the dark web to make tons of arrests worth billions of dollars of drugs and to get them off the streets. The dark web is more dangerous than the surface web, and she pointed out there's plenty of ways for you to buy drugs and other things on the surface web. And you can get in major trouble on the surface web for doing stupid things as you can on the dark web. And so it's not technically any more dangerous, though it does have the ability to be, because you can find even greater stuff like selling organs and things like that. So
Kim Commando does quite a bit of talks about the question you just had about safety and those kinds of things. She alerts you when.
Now, who is this?
Kim Commando.
Kim Commando, yeah. Actually, right here, this first one: browse anonymously, stop Google and Facebook from tracking your every move.
sites or websites in there.
Use secure passwords.
But she keeps up with stuff.
So
She has a big staff.
Is, what, kingcommander.com?
Yeah.
It's just
Right.
commando.com
Yeah,
with a K.
Commando.
If you look up at,
With a K.
yeah.
And
Oops.
she's been doing it for quite some
Is that working
time.
right?
She has
It
a
is
radio
working right.
program
All
too,
right.
Oh,
but she's on.
All right.
Unfortunately, the radio program we can't get anymore.
Well, she has a podcast though,
Yeah, on a
so you can
podcast.
listen to it through
She
your.
actually has this TV station now. Too.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so
she's pretty big time.
KAMADO.
KOM.
yeah.
see up
It's
there,
like
K,
commando, but with a C.
with a K. She lives in Phoenix.
Yeah.
What's the deep
So.
web?
It's just
Yeah.
That's even deeper. For darker.
the deep web is often used as a synonym for the dark web, but it's actually two separate things that are not interchangeable. In its simplest terms, the deep web is basically online data that is not registered with any type of search engine, and therefore can't be found by a web search. This information typically stored by private networks or corporations. So there's where I goofed. So that kind of internal stuff is deep web, so the stuff I was talking about our own website would be deep web stuff that you can't find and search for.
Would it be that way, or it'd be like where I work in the internet, then we had the
Intranet, which is all internal and can't be accessed from the outside. Yeah, I don't know if that may be an interchangeable term, but I don't know. Yeah, this is as much as I know. I just looked it up the other day, and because Google now, I mean, I don't know often. If you visit the same website often enough, like I've mentioned iMore before, which is an Apple website that reports on Apple products. So I've been their website multiple times. It's almost always one of the top 3 results, and it's because Google knows that I visit their website a lot. So they'll put it up there because they obviously think I think, which is true, that it's a trustworthy website. So they put it as one of the top results when I'm searching. So Kim Commando comes up towards the top as well. So when I was looking up dark web, she came up as a
Or
top
you
result.
subscribe to it, and then she sends out
Yeah, or you can,
notices about things, and you can.
So you can read the article in its entirety if you would like. But again, she also does a lot of stuff on how to stay safe, and she even again references it in this article on ways that she suggests being safe.
So is she a lady that's kind of developed this thing?
She calls herself the digital guru, or the
America's digital goddess.
goddess, and she's been doing it for 10 years or so, and she's really developed she has a large radio program. That's what it started, but now she has a big staff that writes
Yep.
a lot of her articles. She used to write it all, but one time I think she worked for IBM, and then she spun off on her own and became her own.
But you also have to be careful on our website because it is
Yeah.
designed to make money. So
Yeah,
you gotta differentiate between the articles and the ads, which are somewhat hard to do. Like these two are. This is an article. Both of these are ads right here,
Yeah.
and they look essentially the same. And some of their articles, whether it's hers or those. So.
Talking about Kabisky or whatever.
Yeah, and she sells her own Android tablet,
Yeah.
and so I think that's more gimmicky than actually helpful. But there are some things that are very helpful, and so every so often I've used her as a reference for class. So.
A lot of advertising.
Yep. Yeah. And then switching topics 100%. This automatic is so automatic.com essentially is a device, this little device right here that you see next to the phone. You can plug into your car and you just leave it plugged in. And it plugs in your dashboard. Driving data is synced to your smartphone, so it'll give you, miles per gallon. It will give you all kinds of different things synced directly to your phone.
Is that considered a dongle?
Correct. Yes.
Hey!
It's like OnStar, if you remember OnStar.
Mm.
It also, one of the other cool things is it also acts like, you know how you go in and you pay like $79.99 for a diagnostic to tell you what the code is? This thing will tell you what the code is that's on your car.
Oh, for the same price.
Yeah, what it means. And you pull it up on your phone, you run the diagnostic, it'll tell you what the code means, and then you can take it to the dealership. Yeah,
What's it called again?
it's automatic.com.
$129.95.
Well,
For the
79
Pro.
or 129.
Yeah, and then right here, I mean, it shows you
Trip logging,
the difference between the two.
engine light, diagnosis. Okay. Fill logging.
So
For $80, $130.
yeah, and if you use code TWIT, which stands for This Week in Tech, which is the podcast I listen to, you get $20 off, I believe, the Pro version. So you could get it for $109. We'll see. But I just, the show This Week in Tech is the show that I listen to, which is how I heard about this. They've got sponsors, and most of them I'm not that interested in, but this one I thought was interesting and at least worth mentioning, because I know that, I mean, even if you get the light one, I mean, $80, one time you use that and you get the diagnostic code from the
But it's just engine light diagnostics.
Well, yeah.
Parking tracking.
Well, yeah, it'll also tell you where you parked your car, so you don't forget.
Oh, that might be important.
Instead of turning on your emergency flashers.
So it gives live vehicle tracking, so I could then track my vehicle if somebody stole it.
If someone stole it, you could see their joyride on your phone.
Wow.
Businesses use those a lot on their company cars
Mm-hmm.
and trucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, either this or one's.
Similar.
Yeah, or one similar to it.
So I've got it on my car and somebody steals my car.
Yep.
So how is that signal transmitted by my car?
It's got I believe it has a 3G. Yes, I believe it's got a 3G chip. So it will send it to the towers, the cell towers, and then the cell towers transmit it to your phone. Just like that's how you get signal to make.
So it's kind of like a cell phone connected to my car?
Well, yeah.
But you have to have a USB port.
No, it plugs into the. Yeah, there's that the diagnostic thing that
that's
they
where
plug.
it goes.
It plugs
Okay,
into that, which is
Okay.
how it knows to run the diagnostics.
Okay.
That little diagnostic port on the underside of your
On the dashboard.
steering wheel section. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
there's that device, and you plug it in right there permanently in it. So you can look up more. Click learn more if you're interested in it. If not, or if you know someone who'd be interested in it, learn more. I haven't delved too deeply, so I won't be able to answer a lot of questions, but I just thought it was an interesting thing. One of the other advertisers they have is a thing called Blue Apron, and you can sign up for 2 or 3 meals a week. It's not cheap, but they will ship you everything you need to make your 3 meals. Say you sign up for the 3-meal program. They send you everything that you need for your 3 meals, and what the meal is, and directions on how to cook it, and everything's fresh and local, and but it's definitely not within my budget. But it was interesting. It was an interesting concept, and they even have an app on your phone so you can adjust your
Wow.
program.
Getting back to that tracking device.
Yeah.
How does that work? It has to be off of a cell tower or something. I have a 95-year-old father who gets in his car and heads into the Olympics.
Yeah.
It's like, and his cell phone doesn't work in some of the spots he's at. Would something
Yeah.
like this work?
Go up to the point where it would require
Oh, a cell phone.
He tells me, oh, I'm up at Donkey Creek Road and up by Camp Brisdale, and I have no idea where these are. It's like, who's ever.
Well, it looks like from the picture, he would show what road he went, and then it would probably stop at some point. At least he's
Yeah.
when he lost signal.
Guess what Dad's getting for Christmas?
Just don't tell about it. Just plug it into it.
That's probably the only way it's still driving. I'm guessing it's still driving.
Here you go, Lee.
Wow.
It'll even you can try the demo. So you can demo their website version of
Oh,
what it is, what it looks like. So they've got a website version, then you can also use it on your phone as the app. And so anyway, you can play with this
I
and
will
see if
have to
it's
look
yeah.
Yeah, let us know how it works.
at that. I think you're right though, I have to plug it in without him knowing.
It's going to be more and more than the other guy. People
O'clock or midnight the night before, and they won't say. Look on the app, and you'll know exactly where they were. Or if they
Those were my cell phone.
the size of a quarter, they appear. Went into the laptop, you can put one in
Wow.
the car, you can put one
Yep.
wherever.
and they have like a 2-year battery life,
And
and
so-
you never.
Well, that would be.
Or it'd be more helpful if the neighbor breaks into your house and steals your laptop,
Yeah.
and you
You know
just
where to
get on
find it.
another one, and oh yeah, it's the 3 houses over, 2 houses down,
Yeah.
is where it is right now.
Yep.
Police would love it too.
Yeah, I mean, you can put it inside the. They've mentioned you can put it inside your cell
that
phone
called?
case.
Oh.
I don't know, I just saw them advertised.
yeah.
on-
But yeah, I mean, they're
There's more
Yeah.
stuff like
yep,
that.
and that you buy 3, you get a deal. But they're basically it's like 2. So if they wear the wrong way, then you'll TSA or to Delta or Southwest
Hide
or
under your
whoever.
lens cap in your camera. When the TSA guy steals your camera, you just turn that over to the police, and they go to his house. Yeah, there it is. You're fired. Along with all the other cameras he's got stored.
I have a friend that's put one on the cat collar because the cat keeps going out and gets locked in someone's shed, or they can't find
Well,
the cat. So
that'd be a waste of
they
one.
go around. They go around pushing them.
Personal opinion.
Big brother.
That's true too. All right. Well, thanks for coming, guys.
Thanks for-
Glad the snow wasn't. Yes. Exactly.
Thanks, Brian.
You're welcome.